Hi, this is Bobby Brown, and welcome to another fucking podcast.
You kids with your loud music and your Dan Fogelberg, your Zima, hula hoops, and Pac-Man video games, don't you see? People today have attention spans that can only be measured in nanoseconds.
See, son, old legends never die. They just lose weight.
Like a legend and an out-of-work bum with a lot of life.
Hello, Hollywood. Hello, world. Hello, my loyal minions. It is good to see you, and as always, good to be seen. My name is Izzy Presley, and welcome to another fucking podcast. And boy, do we have a barn burner for you this week. In studio, transgendered porn star Morgan Bailey. A very, very fun interview I am going to be giving to you. Very eye-opening, interesting, non-PC, non-work-friendly interview, and I cannot wait to present it to you because, you know, I like to do things on this show that are a little off the cuff every once in a while. I mean, it'd be easy to just have the aging rockers in like I do every week, but it's fun to bring you something different, something fun, something interesting, and she's really got a lot of interesting things to say, so I cannot wait to give you that interview. It was a very, very good interview. I cannot wait till you hear it. It's a blast. Funny gal. And, yeah, I think you're really going to enjoy it. Morgan Bailey will be in studio here. I recorded it earlier today. So, I did not do a live one today because, well, I had to sleep. Morgan came over this morning. I was running on like 2 hours. We did the interview, and I went right to fucking bed right afterwards because I was tired. And I just woke up, and I figured, you know what? I couldn't do the live show today, so why not give you the full show today, give you an extra day, and next Monday night, we'll be back with another live show. Because, you know what? I really enjoy doing those. Make sure you hit me up on the social media, Facebook.com/Another Effing Podcast. Hit me up on that Twitter machine. Creeping towards 1 million followers. Currently at 1,636. So get on that Twitter machine, Izzy_Presley, and click that follow button. If you're listening on Spreaker, make sure you click that follow button. If you're listening on iTunes, please subscribe and leave me feedback and give me 5 stars and all that good nonsense. If you want to support the show monetarily, you absolutely can. I do this for free because I enjoy it. But there are costs that, you know, are accrued while doing this. So if you want to donate to the show, you absolutely can. The PayPal is izzy.presley@gmail.com, izzy.presley@gmail.com, and God damn it, I got to send out some stickers. So drop me an email, izzy@izzypresleyproductions.com. If you do donate, of course, I'm going to send you stickers. I'll send you some stuff. But if you just want stickers, just let me know. Maybe I'll send some out as soon as possible. Because, you know, I have stickers, and they're just sitting here, and they need to get sent out. I mean, not that I don't enjoy looking at myself. I get lost in my eyes. So hit me up. Let me know if you want stickers. In the upcoming weeks, next week, I might have another in-studio guest who is a video goddess. I'm just going to leave it at that because it is not confirmed. Working on Steve, the Colonel Cropper. In studio in a couple weeks will be Duff Goldman. I think that's confirmed. I think that is confirmed, and it's actually going to happen this time. Really excited about that one because, you know, like I said, I like hearing people's stories. I like getting different stuff instead of just, you know, the aging rockers that I know and love. Last week, Courtney Cox. Cool interview. Great to have her in studio. Thank you again for swinging by. Lots has happened. And of course, the big thing, of course, was Friday night at the Troubadour, Guns N' Roses playing a quote-unquote reunion show. I know I had said it. No Steven, no Izzy. No Izzy. I'm not interested in going to see it, but I will tell you this. God damn it, I wanted to be there on Friday night. If there was one show that I would have wanted to be at, was Guns N' Roses at the Troubadour. I knew about it last Sunday. So I knew about it a week before it happened. And God, I wanted to go. When I originally heard about it, it's like, well, it's just going to be friends and family and nobody's going to be able to get in. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And then when I saw people lining up, Courtney being one of them, outside of Tower Records at midnight the night before, I'm like, oh, man, I'm working. I'm out driving. So, because, rent, got to pay the rent. That rent, it's kind of important there, paying that rent there. And I'm just like, God, I wanted to be there. I wanted to be there in line. Because if I didn't have rent due this week, goddamn well I would have been in line with everybody and I would have got into that show. And the tickets were only $10. $10. So basically how it worked was you got in line, and at 10 a.m. on Friday morning, they announced what it was. At noon, I believe, they handed out the wristbands, and then you had to have a wristband to get your ticket at the door, and they were only $10. And I will say this. Anybody who was like, oh, Axl can't sing anymore, this is going to be dumb, blah, blah, blah. I saw some of the video from it, and Axl fucking killed it. Axl killed it. It was awesome. Steven Adler was not there. Reports that I had heard is that Steven had just had back surgery, and he was recovering from it. Did that mean he was going to play? Well, I mean, there was a lot of speculation that he was, and because, well, he was supposed to play at the Whiskey that night. And that was canceled a couple of weeks beforehand. So, of course, that started a lot of speculation. And from what I heard, the real reason is because he was recovering from back surgery. So, but now we don't know what's going to happen with him and Guns. Obviously, the fanboy in me wants Steven Adler in Guns N' Roses. I think Steven Adler deserves to be in Guns N' Roses. Nobody plays those songs like him. Is he the best drummer in the world? Absolutely not. But nobody can play those songs like Steven Adler. He's got a swagger to him. He's got a style that nobody can replicate. Even Matt Sorum has said, I can't play like that. Matt Sorum, amazing drummer. I can't play those songs like that. So I think that says something. And Steven can still do it. I've seen it. I saw him at the Whiskey last time they played. He still has it. He still sounds like Steven Popcorn Adler. Nobody plays those songs like him. And he's the one. He's the one that wanted this more than anybody. For years. For years. He's just been talking about wanting this to happen, and now it's happening, and there's no Steven. Izzy Stradlin wants nothing to do with it. He has an official Twitter that he actually he contacted the people at Rolling Stone and said, this is me. Make sure you let everybody know. It's like Izzy Stradlin 999. And I followed him because where do you think I stole my name from? And if you scroll all the way down, all the way back in February, it says, I have no involvement in the Guns N' Roses reunion, or Guns N' Roses in 2016. So, but we'll see what happens. I mean, look, Izzy has played with those guys, with Axl's band on many occasions, and you never know. You just never know. I mean, Izzy's just out being Izzy. He writes, records, and puts out records, and he's Izzy. And his solo shit is amazing. So check out the Izzy Stradlin solo stuff. I mean, the Juju Hounds record came out in the 90s, but he's been putting out records ever since then, and they are great. God, he's a great songwriter. Fucking badass. So check all that shit out. So that's my take on the Guns N' Roses situation show. And yes, I wish I would have been there. I mean, I was getting texts the next day. Courtney texted me. She texted me the video of Welcome to the Jungle. I'm just like, I had goosebumps and half a chubby. It was that good. And it's like, seeing Slash and Axl on stage together is a special thing. It really is, because Axl can have anybody in that band, but without Slash, it's tough. I mean, look, DJ Aspo was great. My buddy Bumblefoot, amazing guitar player, played with them for years, and it was awesome. But it's not Slash. It's, you know, it goes back to the Tommy Thayer thing. Amazing guitar player. He plays his Ace's licks. Where's his makeup? Plays his licks, and it's great. But it's not Ace. Nobody plays those songs like Ace. That's just all there is to it. So that's my take. Of course, Guns N' Roses announcing a stadium tour, so they're going to get all over the place. I see the Cult is going to be playing with them in a lot of those gigs, so it should be very badass. But I don't know, maybe I'll get to San Diego. We'll see. I don't want to be the guy that makes that phone call asking. If I go, I'll pay. Unless somebody offers. And then, of course, I will say yes. I was supposed to be in Vegas this weekend. Not going to happen. Pussycat's playing up there. GNR's playing up there. It's just not going to happen. But 2 sold-out shows in that brand new arena that they've built up in Vegas, where they're trying to court a hockey team. So it's supposed to be a very, very cool arena. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. So here is what's going to happen. I am going to take a short little break right here, and I will be right back with transgender adult film star Morgan Bailey. Get ready for this because it is an amazing interview. It's another fucking podcast. RockstarLeatherworks.com is your home for badass rock and roll gear. Featuring 100% handmade leather bands, watches, cuffs, bracelets, and more, Rockstar Leatherworks has something for everybody. Whether you are going to the show or you are in it, you can find something to fit your needs. Choose from a variety of designs or create your own masterpiece. Their bands and watches are second to none. They also ship internationally. Who needs a stage to be a rock star? Check out RockstarLeatherworks.com.
If you need to promote your band or business, or just want to stylize, personalize, or customize your ride, check out vid-decals.com. Want to create and customize your own stickers representing your band, or make your own bumper sticker? Vid Decals can do it. All stickers are printed on quality vinyl and can be placed on any flat surface. Stickers are an affordable way to promote your band or business. Go to vid-decals.com to get started. That's vid-decals.com. vid-decals.com.
Hey ladies, Death Threads will take that rock shirt that everybody has and make it your own in a flattering, sassy, and simple way. There are one-of-a-kind, handmade rocker tube top dresses, lace-up tees, and tank tops already in stock. Check out the online store at etsy.com/shop/Death Threads Inc. and like Death Threads on Facebook for special offers and custom orders. That's etsy.com/shop/Death Threads Inc. Death Threads will make you the envy of the party.
Oh, she's a lady. Oh, she's a lady. Talking about that little lady. And the lady is mine.
All right, and we have returned, welcoming in studio adult film star Morgan Bailey. Welcome to another fucking podcast.
Welcome, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
It's good to have you. My second adult film star that I've had on, Julia Ann, of course, was the first one. It's always a fun treat.
I'm honored.
I'm honored. Now, if anybody's not familiar, be careful Googling her at work.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because you might find something that you're not expecting.
It's NSFW.
Yes. Well, I mean, most porn is, but yeah, you might be a little surprised. She's packing a little something that you might not know about.
Or a big something.
Or yes, that could be too. Before we get going, I wanted to touch on this because what is the correct term? Because obviously there's a lot of different terms. I mean,
wow.
They say she-male, they say chicks with dicks, they say, I mean, all these different things.
All right, so she-male and chicks with dicks, I think, are strictly only acceptable when you're talking about porn.
Okay.
Okay, so you wouldn't be like, oh, hey, you're walking down the street, there's a chick with a dick. That's like completely,
right.
I don't even want to say PC because I'm not really a PC person, but that's really rude, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Transgendered would be the would be the term that you'd want to use.
Okay.
Or trans. Trans is, it's always acceptable, I think. The thing is now everybody's got, oh man, it's such a political thing, there's so many.
Yes, it is. Everything is.
You have to be so careful who you say what to, because some people really fly off the handle. I'm not really like that. I just be respectful. That's my main thing. So, yeah, trans I think is the way to go with that.
Is there any word that just kind of sets you off? Because obviously people say tranny, they say, whatever.
Nah, no, not really. People for the most part are very respectful, I think. And if they're not, they usually keep to themselves,
Right. Well, I think with your genre too, is it a niche thing or is it kind of blowing up?
It's definitely blowing up. It's still a niche for sure, but it's it's one of the biggest niches in our industry. You've got gay cells, probably at the very top. A lot of people watching gay porn that don't admit to it.
Right.
So it's unbelievable how much they sell, and it's absolutely they get paid the best. The guys that shoot gay film make so much money. Obviously, straight film would be right up there with gay, or just as popular, if not more. But TS is definitely the runner-up in that.
Well, and we met at this party here in Highland Park. I came across him like, fuck it, how often do you get to hang out with porn stars? And, it was girls like you. And the thing that I noticed, like, my God, you girls, a lot of you are hotter than some of the women that I fucked.
Wow. Well, with trans girls, I think a lot of it, maybe not so much myself, but I think when you're trans, you're trying you're putting all of your effort into looking like the gender that you want to represent. So classically, transgender women are very well groomed. Their hair is really well done. They're really good with makeup. They've also had some, surgery possibly.
Right.
So trans women typically take very good care of themselves and present themselves, want to be presented as beautifully as they can. Yeah. I'm pretty confident in my looks, but I'm very much like jeans and t-shirts kind of girl.
Right.
I don't shave my armpits. I'm not trying to conform to any sort of male idea of what a woman should look like. I'm very much into just being my own self, So for me, it's not. I could really give a shit what people think. So
right. Well, that's the one beautiful thing about LA too, is you can be whoever the fuck you want to be out here. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody bats an eye. To a point. Well, that's true anywhere to a point. But in LA, it's kind of like fucking okay, whatever.
I come from the Midwest. I was raised outside Chicago, and I was just there about a week ago, and I hadn't been home in a while. I was out doing some shopping or whatever, and I'm thinking to myself, it wasn't a bad place to grow up, but man, am I glad I don't live there anymore. People definitely are way more judgmental. I think when I was younger, it didn't bother me, or I didn't even, I really don't notice it so much, but I walked into a bar in Chicago, and it was an Irish bar. Everyone stopped and turned around and looked at me. When, I was like, whoa, this is kind of, you just don't get that same feel out in LA. You walk into any bar and sit down, no one really gives a shit.
Right.
But, conservative types, especially in those middle region or in southern region states they're pretty fucked up in the head.
Right. Well, I was heard of my buddy talking about this on the radio this morning. Did you hear about this thing in North Carolina?
Yes. Oh, I fly in and out of North Carolina a lot because I go to the Caribbean. So it's a big transfer for me, and I always try to fly through North Carolina because customs is so easy to get through there as opposed to Miami or New York. But I actually specifically, this morning I'm booking tickets back from the Caribbean, and I am doing everything I can to not fly through Charlotte right now. So I'm definitely not giving them any of my business.
Right. And if anybody's wondering what we're talking about, they passed a law where you have to use the
bathroom the bathroom assigned to your birth gender.
Okay.
Now, for me, I was born in Illinois, and every state has a different way that they do this. But after I had my facial surgery, the doctor wrote a letter, and then my doctor was in Illinois. Said it would be in the government's best interest to protect this person by putting female on their license. And in most states, when you have your birth certificate changed, they amend it. So you can go, if a court wanted to, they could go back into your file and find that, it was amended. You actually were born male. In Illinois, they can't do that. So as far as anyone's concerned, and legally I am female, and there's no way that could ever get brought up in court. And there's no paperwork ever saying that I was male. Everything is I was born female. So I don't even know how that really would apply to me. I mean, or were they going to make you drop your pants and see what you really had between your legs? I don't know.
Right.
My ID says female. My birth certificate says female. I was happily married for a year, and then happily unmarried, or unhappily married for the last year. So now I'm happily divorced. So
some people, that's a big party.
Yeah.
You know, they have the wedding party, but then they have the divorce party.
I didn't do that yet. I've got my wedding dress in my closet still, and I'm trying to think what I should do with it. Someone told me to make pillows out of it. I think that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Because why would the fuck would I want white lacy pillows in my house that remind me of my ex? But
that's a good point.
I think I'm more like in a mud wrestling, light it on fire kind of girl. Mm-hmm.
When did you know?
When did I know I wanted a divorce?
No. When did you know that you wanted to
transition?
Transition, yeah.
As long as I can remember, I always imagined in my mind. Not imagine. In my mind, I was a girl. When I was a little child, I was a girl. Yeah, as far as long as I can remember, I was a little girl in my head. So it was when I was, when I was in my teen years, back in the early 90s, mid 90s, it was, it was like the big punk scene, big goth scene. Mm-hmm. So, I saw other boys that were wearing makeup and stuff like that. I thought, okay, this is an easy way to kind of start wearing makeup. So, I had many different looks throughout my teen years, and I'd say around 15, I started wearing girls' clothes to school, mostly tops. Every once in a while, I'd try and throw on a skirt, but my dad wasn't excited about that.
Right.
So I'm peeling your chair over here. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I'm sure worse things have been done to it.
I'm sure there's probably been some dirty things happen in this chair. By junior year, though, I was pretty much transitioned. I was actually, when I was in Chicago, I'd met up with an old teacher of mine. We were having drinks, and she remembers it way earlier than I do. So I guess by sophomore year, she's always thought of me as female. So she was my teacher sophomore, junior, and senior year. She doesn't remember me any different. So
you always see these stories in the news coming out, like, well, this 4-year-old's identity. It's like at 4. I mean, is that a little too young to be? To be thinking about that. I mean, it's like you can't let them grow up and be grow up and just be a kid, and then let them figure that out later on.
I think today there's so much in the media, and certainly things are different than they were back in the early 80s, when I was 4 years old,
right.
And probably when, in the generations before that, it's not by our parents' fault, it's by the way that they were raised, and, it's like that vicious cycle. But my father's a tattoo artist, Harley Ryden, very macho man, so he wanted, and and this is a funny story. When I was little, I was extremely effeminate, and my dad wanted to toughen me up so bad that he would take me outside and play catch with me. But my father can't catch a ball. He's not sports oriented.
Right.
But I mean, he would whip balls at me and like try to toughen me up. He was trying to wrestle with me and stuff, and it didn't do anything. Well, in turn, it made me tough, but tough regardless of my gender. I mean,
right.
That's it. He just toughened me up. So, and I'm a little spiteful because of it, maybe. But that was all he needed. His biggest thing is he didn't want to see me get hurt later in life.
Right.
So we have a very close relationship now. He's my tattoo artist. I just took him to the Caribbean 2 weeks ago, just the two of us. We do a lot of stuff together. We're going on this big pot vacation, this big pot tour of the United States, since there's so many places that you can legally smoke now. So really, he's like my best friend,
Well, that's cool.
I think we got off subject somehow. But,
no, that's fine. This is interesting stuff.
He would never have gone for, even when I started doing hormones when I was like 17, 18, he thought it was the craziest thing. Like, why would you do that to yourself? Go ahead and be transgender, but why do you have to take drugs to be transgender? Mm-hmm. He doesn't get it. When I started having surgeries on myself, he thought that was ridiculous. Why would you do something to yourself? Why would you spend that much money to be in that much pain? Well, now he's wearing a very expensive toupee that cost him about $6,000 to $7,000 a year and about $400 a month to upkeep. And somewhere in him doing that, he's kind of made some acceptance for like everything that I've done to myself. Because he was the type when he had hair that he would never do this to make, even if it made him feel better. Well, now he's singing a different tune,
Right.
So, and he looks great with that wig on, by the way. I mean, it makes a big difference for him. So, he kind of gets it now.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's good that you guys, have that relationship. Because when you started doing adult films, when you started doing porn, how did he take that?
There's a funny story for that too. So, eight years ago, I had sent some pictures out to Groovy, actually to a couple of different companies, but they wouldn't write me back. Groovy responded immediately and said, "We'd love to shoot you. Want to fly out to California?" So I was dating this guy at the time who's kind of a jerk, and I was leaving for California this day, blah, blah, blah. He was supposed to take me to the airport. Well, he ended up not showing up that night to my house to spend the night. So about 5 a.m, I called my dad, and I said, "Dad, I need a ride to the airport." "Why? Where are you going?" I said, "Don't worry about it. I just need a ride to the airport." So he comes and he scoops me up. And we're on the way to the airport, and I'm not telling him anything, and he wants to know where I'm going. I said, "Dad," I'm going to California to make a porno." "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude." I'm going out to California. I'm going to make this porno. "Why are you going to blah, blah, blah?" So I explained to him that, it's something that I felt like I wanted to do. I was looking for a validation. I wanted to see what the rest of the world thought of me at this point in my transition. And, even with like an education and everything, it's very hard, especially back then, for girls to get jobs that pay really well. I thought, hey, porn, it's probably going to make a lot of money, da-da-da-da. It made sense to do. So anyway, we're driving, and this is back in the days of flip phones. I had this old Nokia flip phone, and it had everybody's number in it, especially the people in California I was supposed to meet up with at the airport. Well, on the way to the airport, I flip my phone open, and it glitches, and it's out. It's not turning back on. I'm like, oh, no, this has got to be a sign that I'm not supposed to make porno.
Right.
And he's like, no. He's like, you're getting on that plane. He's like, you're going to go out there. He's like, someone will find you at the airport. You're going to go make that porno. So really, if it wasn't for my dad, I may have not got on that plane that day.
Wow.
And yeah, so then I got to California, and I was at Burbank Airport with no phone. And there was this dude that kept circling around. And if you know your Burbank, it's really small.
Yep.
So he's circling around. I'm like, oh, my God. It was this creepy-looking guy in this... Not creepy-looking guy. Sorry, buddy. But this guy in this creepy-looking car that's, like, looking out his window like a pervert.
Was it Ron Jeremy?
No. Well, no. It was Buddy Wood. Finally, he goes, "Morgan." I'm like, oh, it's got to be him. So I got in the car. I don't think we even made it out of Burbank Airport before I was like, man, what a day. My phone broke, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you don't happen to smoke pot, by the way. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, do you get high? And he's like, what would you say if I didn't? I said, well, then I'd get online and I'd find someone who would. But luckily for me, Buddy does smoke. And everything got much better after I got to his house. We had a little puff, and then I shot my first porno.
What was it like on set the first time?
No, so nervous. I remember my palms sweating and my feet sweating so bad. And I was on all these hormones, so it's not easy to get an erection when you're really hormoned out. And, there was like all this pressure to get hard. And, not that he was putting the pressure on me, but it's the pressure you put on yourself. You want to perform well. I mean, Buddy is a great guy. Any of the Groovy guys are great guys. There's no pressure there. They're all fantastic company to work for. But as a performer, God, if you want to come back, man, you want to give them your all, My first hardcore shoot was for SMC, the company that I have my website through, and they probably won't like me telling this story, but I'm going to tell it anyway.
Good, that's a shit I like.
They said, do you want to shoot a hardcore? I said, yeah. They said, would you shoot in Las Vegas or Los Angeles? I said, it doesn't matter to me. So somehow I booked a ticket to Las Vegas. They had booked me a scene in Los Angeles. So I get to Las Vegas, and I call him up. Hey, I'm here for the scene. Where's the studio? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he's like, oh, you're in Vegas. He's like, we're going to have to cancel the scene. I'm like, no. I'm like, you're going to have to shoot me tomorrow. I said, I'm going to fly to Los Angeles. And I'm a kid at this point. I've got no money. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I get out to Los Angeles, and the photographer, I don't even know if I should name his name at this point, but he's a good guy. He's just not my favorite photographer. Anyway, he's the main photographer for SMC at this point in the United States, and the guy they'd set me up with, he's a good-looking guy, but just extremely gay, and you could tell he wasn't into it at all. So I was having a really hard time performing, and I remember at one point the director leaned in and said, "If you don't get hard and come, you don't get paid." And I thought, what the fuck? I've come all the way over here.
Right.
I've got my asshole spread for you. I'm covered in lube. I'm getting this huge dick put inside me. I pretty much made my mind up at this point that this was the last porn I would ever do. And I was mortified by this guy. As luck would have it, he's an alright guy. Not the best photographer in my eyes, and I won't work with him anymore. But yeah, it really turned me off from that. It was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. And then, I don't think I shot any hardcores for that company for a while. And then, as luck would have it, I ended up getting a solo site for them years later. So, and I've shot plenty of hardcore since then.
You know, one thing I talked with Julia about was this condom law that they have here in California. And especially with what you do, it's people expect, well, they have to use them, but still there's that, well, we don't want to see that in porno.
Right.
You know, I mean, what's your take on that? And
well, that condom law has been abolished, you know.
It has.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, the condom law is not in effect. How do I feel about that?
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Up until recently, I didn't really have a problem with people not using condoms. As I've learned recently, you cannot trust anybody. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where I stand with that. I'm shooting a porn today, and I probably won't use a condom. But I also know this person pretty well as being, she's very career-oriented, so I can't imagine her going out and doing anything to, put her career in lines of losing it. But then again, anything could happen to anybody, you know.
Yeah, you're drunk some night and, hey, let's go do this.
I started dating a guy in November, and I wasn't really sure. Like, I didn't realize how I really was in love with this guy. And I've never had an STD in my life. Through years of doing porn, even escorting, and making some bad decisions. You know, I've dodged a lot of bullets, I guess. And so I started dating this guy. Well, I do a routine test, every 2 weeks for work, You don't only have to do it once a month. I prefer to do it every 2 weeks. I won't work with anyone who hasn't had it done every 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Anyway, long story short, I start dating this guy. I go and I get him tested because I'm not sleeping with anyone who's not. It comes back that he's clean. So I go in for a routine test. This is actually the Thursday before the T Awards. And I go in and get my test. The next morning, I'm out getting waxed. And my results come in. They say, usually you get your results are in, and here's a link to your pass so you can go to work. Well, it didn't say that. It said your results are in, please call us. I'm thinking, what the fuck? So I'm nervous. I'm shaking. I call up, and they said, hey, you have gonorrhea. I thought, what? I said, there's no fucking way. I said, you're gonna have to retest me. They said, no, they were positive. They ran the test 2 or 3 times. You have gonorrhea. My fucking heart sinks because There's only one way that I could have gotten it, and that was through my boyfriend. So I called up my one girlfriend who was staying with me, and I said, hey, come outside the apartment. I gotta talk to you. My boyfriend's in the apartment at the time. So I grab her, and we go have a beer, and I'm like, look, try and help me understand this. She's like, well, your boyfriend gave you gonorrhea. There's no other way around it. I had no symptoms or anything, so had I not gone and got tested for work, I don't know how long it takes for those symptoms to show up, but thank God I didn't. If I would have been having, oh God, I can't even imagine.
Right. See, when I had the next day I was not feeling right. And then all of a sudden the pus started happening and the burn is like, yeah, something's not right down there.
I didn't have any of that. So, I don't know how long it goes on or whatever, but so anyway, I go home. I walked in the house. I said, hey, I just got to, We had to have a quick little conversation. I said, I need you to be 100% honest with me. I said, that's the only way you're gonna have any sort of leverage here with me. Mm-hmm. Just be honest with me. I said, since we've been dating, I said, I haven't fucked anyone. I said, who have you been fucking? He looks at me and goes, nobody. I said, okay, well, you need to do me a favor. Pack yourself a little night bag. I said, you can come pick up the rest of your shit next week. You need to get the fuck out of my house right now. What's going on? I said, who have you been fucking? Oh, nobody. I said, well, then how do I have gonorrhea? So I told him to get his shit out my house. I said, grab your bag, get the fuck out of my house. And I walked into the living room where I had a girlfriend who was here from Japan staying, who speaks perfect English, so she heard the whole conversation. Right. I've got Domino Presley sitting in my living room who's ready to kill this guy. And she's got a real quick tongue, you know, she's she's always running her mouth and shit. I said, you shut the fuck up and just sit there. I said, don't start anything. I don't want any fights in my house. Dun, 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 dun. So he comes out and he goes, Morgan, he goes, I gotta talk to you. I gotta tell you what happened. I said, no. I said, you had one chance. I said, I couldn't believe anything that comes out of your mouth now. Long story short, he's a musician, and supposedly his entertainment lawyer was blackmailing him with photos that he had of us from Chatterbait or some bullshit. I don't really buy any of it. I think he was looking for a quick fix. He had a meth problem. His name is Brandon Thomas Fogel, by the way. And I think he was out looking for... I don't know what his problem was. I really don't, but that motherfucker gave me gonorrhea. Broke my heart, gave me gonorrhea. And all of that, it just made me realize, you know, if you can sleep with people you hardly know, and then there's somebody that you trust completely and love, and they can fuck you over like that, anybody could. So I don't really know where I stand with that. You know, that if I don't know the person, then probably going to use a condom on film. You just don't know what the person did the night before, you know, 2 days before. So I don't know. I think to play it safe, you should use a condom. Do I like wearing condoms? No. When I'm having sex with a girl, I really can't. It's very, very difficult for me to wear a condom because... Yeah,
it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Vaginas are not like foreign territory to me, but it's certainly not what I'm used to. And I love being inside of them and I love playing with them, but I have a really hard time staying hard and trying to get a condom on, especially for a scene. There's a lot more pressure. You've got a boom mic in your face and lights and people telling you to do this and lift your leg higher and this and that. So that puts pressure on it for sure. With guys, it's a little bit more simple because I've been doing it for half my life, you know. But, yeah, condoms suck. They do. But so does gonorrhea.
Yes, it does.
So there you go.
It does. Yes, it does. Is there more money for not using one?
No, there's less money for anything nowadays because it's such an oversaturated business.
Right.
So, you know, people like myself who have been in it for years, you'd expect a pay raise at this point, but I'm definitely taking a pay cut. Because you have all these young girls who are gorgeous and young, and they'll do anything for any amount of dollar. Girls, if you're listening, you need to raise your fucking prices. You're killing all of us. And, you know, I get it. They need to pay for this and they need to pay for that, and they all want to buy fucking these shoes that they're not going to fucking wear for the next. It's so stupid. Girls, save your fucking whore money, please. You're going to end up being 33 with nothing to show for it.
Those shoes.
Well, you know, and the thing is, they break or they fucking, you wear them a couple times and they're scuffed up and you need a new pair. Who needs a $2,000 pair of shoes? These are
Chuck Taylors.
Chuck Taylors, yeah, no, I agree. I don't even buy sunglasses that are over $100 anymore. I used to buy like the most ridiculous sunglasses, and then you go somewhere, and someone always fucking steals them because trannies are thieves. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just I'm a basic chick at this point in my life. Not basic, but basic enough.
You mentioned you did some escort work.
I escorted for years before I got married.
Is there I kind of got the feeling that night when I was over there that there's a lot of you girls that are in the industry that do that.
Oh, yeah, you better believe it. Porn is really just a catalyst for escorting. It's anyone can go out and make money escorting, and there's way more money in escorting than there is in porn. Porn, it makes your escorting career, bam, you know, it just makes it that much more exciting. People have seen you, they've masturbated to you, now they want to sleep with you. So, yeah, I think porn is especially for the trans community, you know, girls have this misconception that they're going to start doing porn and become millionaires and live in this beautiful house in the Hollywood Hills.
Right.
You're so wrong. If any of you listening think that, you know, I mean, I'm not saying I don't live the life. I've got friends that have beautiful homes, and I hang out in them, and we go swimming in their pools, just like that one in the picture there. You know, we
Found
do.
that at Goodwill.
Well, there you go. You know, I mean, there
Whoever
is.
Anne is, Anne's picture needed to be on somebody's wall.
Yeah, the clouds are great. You know, I mean, there is that whole aspect to the lifestyle, the sex, drugs, rock and roll thing going on. But, girls, save your money. Anybody, save your fucking money. Be smart with it. You don't want to end up, you know, gosh. Ugh, it scares me. So many girls, you know, they get so wrapped up in the drugs and shit, and they don't even get to see 30, you know? So, be smart, ladies.
Are the drugs still predominant in the industry?
But unfortunately, all the cocaine in LA is awful, so... I don't know. I don't really know what kind of drugs. I know crystal meth's a big one. Thank God I never really got into that. And the cocaine's so bad, I really don't do much of that anymore. But I love to smoke my pot. I know there's a lot of drugs going on, though, you know. And when there's, especially with methamphetamines, and you're up for all that, I have a friend who, I'm not going to mention names, but, I mean, she'll sleep with 5 or 6 people a day just because she's so fucking horny and messed up on this meth, you know. And that's dangerous, I think. You know, she also does porn. She only gets tested once a month, and she's getting barebacked all day long. It makes me so nervous. And because, you know, I eventually wound up having to sleep with the same people she does, too.
Right.
So it's I think it's kind of rude to everybody, but look, slut's got to be a slut, so.
Yeah, that's true. It's what they say in, was it Chasing Amy? Everybody needs dick.
Everybody needs dick. That's true, I guess.
How did you come up with Morgan Bailey?
Okay, so I was trying to come up with porn names, right? Mm-hmm. And I'd come up with it was between a couple of them, but I was really excited about the name Tara Hole.
Classic porn name.
Right. But then I'm thinking to myself, man, you're really just kind of pegging yourself as just being like this aggressive top that's going to get in there and rip everyone's asshole open. Which, you know, maybe is not like, I don't know. I thought, you know, you need more of like a classic name. So there was this guy that I had this huge crush on in high school, and I just got the opportunity to sleep with him like moments before this whole porn career happened. So I stole his last name. And then I was just trying to think of a really pretty girl's name to go with it. And so, you know, went through all these different names. And Morgan Bailey went so well together. And so there you go. That's how it happened.
So it wasn't like, well, let's see, I like Captain Morgan, and I love Bailey's on the Rocks.
No, and I hate both of those. I really do. What's really funny, though, okay, so I got married and I moved to Southern Tennessee. Bible Belt. My ex-husband, Southern Baptist, his family extremely religious. And so anyway, everyone's down at my new house in Tennessee, my girlfriends from my porn and now my new family. Well, nobody calls me by my real name of my girlfriends. Mm-hmm. So now I've got everyone going around my house with my mother-in-law calling me Morgan. She wants to know, why does everyone call you Morgan? So I told her, because I used to drink a lot of Captain Morgans, which she didn't get because she's never even seen a bottle of Captain Morgans. Right. So I've had to dodge some weird bullets down south. You know, his ex-wife, I think, probably figured it out at some point. Yeah, that was weird. That was weird. I'm so glad I'm not married anymore. Can I smoke pot in here?
Fucking go for it. I don't care.
Yeah, his ex-wife was, you know, she hates me still, I'm sure. But, man, am I glad to be out of the South. It's just,
I suppose it's better than just people, oh, hey, Bob, how's it going? Not that that's your name, but...
yeah, I don't know. The South was rough on me, you know.
I can imagine, you know, the Bible Belt.
I was, you know, fresh off the porn wagon. And I'm trying to, like, you know, be this nice little stepmom. You have a lighter in here? You do.
I got a big one.
Hey, me too. Yeah, that was weird. Being married was in the South was weird.
How did you end up in the South? Is that where
he wouldn't leave the South? Yeah, he had a great job working for the government. He'd been there for 26 years, and he's got 2 children, 2 from his previous marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I would never expect him to leave his family, But that being said, too, I told him I had no interest in moving to Tennessee, so I didn't see any point in getting married.
What part of Tennessee were you in?
I was in a little town called Maryville, Tennessee. It's right outside of Knoxville, about 35 minutes.
Did you pick up the accent when you were down there?
For sure.
Nice.
For sure.
Nice.
I grew up between Chicago and Atlanta, Georgia, so there's always like a little southern twang, especially when I'm drinking. But yeah, you put me back in the South. It just takes a week to pick up. It really does. Next thing you know, y'all saying y'all and have a good in. Sure do appreciate ya. And when I first moved to Tennessee, I would go into the gas station in the morning to get cigarettes, milk, whatever. And the accent there is so different than the one in Georgia. And they'd say, sure do appreciate ya, have a good one. And I didn't know what they were saying to me. I really didn't. And so for a couple of days, I tried processing. I'm like, what the fuck are they saying? So finally, I asked my husband, I'm like, are they speaking like, is this like are we like in like a little town that they speak like a dialect of a European language? He's like, what are they saying to you? I'm like, they say, sure do appreciate you, have a good one. He's like, they're saying, I appreciate you, have a good one. It took me I can't even say it like they do. I mean, if you could hear the way they say it, it's different.
Yeah, it's funny because I've been trying to lose my accent for 2.5 years since I moved out here.
From where?
Minnesota. Oh,
You don't sound like a
yeah.
Minnesota guy.
Well, that's why I say Minneapolis.
What's funny is I used to get Canadian or Minnesota, and because I'm from Chicago, but I don't really have the Chicago accent. You know?
It's see, my Chicago accent I base off of the Blues Brothers,
of course.
Because greatest movie of all time,
Of
bar
course.
none.
Yeah, maybe so.
I know all about that stuff. I've been exploited all my life.
Yeah.
And in Wisconsin, it's a little bit more nasally,
Wisconsin.
but when I was watching Making a Murderer, I wanted to stab myself because of that small town Midwestern accent. I'm like, God, I just can't get away from it.
Yeah, it's not such a bad accent though.
It's not an attractive accent.
There's so much more. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. There's
Right.
so much worse accents.
See, no, I think the Southern accent is hot. Australian. I mean,
Yeah.
I would marry an Australian gal just to have her talk to me every night.
Listen, I hear you. I've got this French boy down in the Caribbean who doesn't speak very much English. God, his fucking accent's everything, though. I'm like, he's like so embarrassed to speak English, but I love when he tries. It's so awesome to me.
Yeah, and we're like, oh, for sure, going up to Mille Lacs this weekend, up north there.
Yeah, you don't sound Fargo, though.
Small town Minnesota. Oh yeah, it's like that. It really is.
My grandpa was a Navy man, and he had some really cool friends from the Navy. They didn't see wartime or anything, but he had a buddy named George Courier, and we'd go up to the Great Lakes. They lived in St. Cloud, but they had a farm.
That's where I'm from. St. Cloud, Minnesota.
Like 6 hours. If you drive 6 hours north of St. Cloud, you're still in Minnesota, right?
Yes.
It's huge.
Yes.
Okay, so
That's what she said.
it was somewhere up there. It was beautiful though, and we'd go up there every summer, and they had like 10 kids, these Irish families, and well, of course they were like, I was hanging out with their grandkids at this time, but I love Minnesota. It's beautiful up there.
In the summertime.
Yes, in the summertime, it's beautiful, and I love fishing, and I love to eat lake perch, and there's a great fishing up there.
See, and that's the thing. Is like everybody's like, everybody's has their craft beer shit out here, and there's sushi. I'm like, I'm a Midwestern kid. I like my Bud Light, I like my Jack Daniels, and I like my fish fried.
I love a fish fry. Oh my god, it's got to be a Midwestern thing.
It really is. It's like fried fish,
Friday night fish
goulash.
Fry. Yeah. There's a big Eastern European influence up there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm from in Illinois is like a small town, and there's a Swedish town or whatever, which is probably why I thought all these people in Tennessee were speaking a different language, because there's this town where it's just all this Swedish influence. I mean, you drive through there and it's like they've got little like Viking stuff, like Viking sculptures and stuff, and a Viking museum. But it's like one of those towns that you blink going through and you're through it,
Yeah.
And they all speak some like dialect of American Swedish there or something.
I was going to ask you, when you go home,
Yeah.
the people that are stuck there, that have been there their whole lives,
Yes.
do they know who you are?
Yes. Yes, they do. It's very strange to me because they're, I'm still the same. It was so weird. When I was leaving my town to come out to LA to do film, my best friends, who I'm still very close with, oh, you're going to forget about us and be this movie star, blah, blah, blah. It's porno, guys. I mean,
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, yes, you know, I'm not denying that there's some sense of recognition or, you know, you do get that sort of, you know, people think of you as being, and maybe I just don't see myself that way. Maybe in some people's minds I am, but no, like I think that the biggest thing is that they think, how did I get stuck here when she's out just making porno? Like, you know, some of these guys could have been, I don't know, doctors or lawyers or whatever, but they got knocked up so early. And
Well, that's the one thing that I noticed. Like, when I was moving out here, the people that were telling me, don't do it, that town's going to eat you alive, stay here, they're the ones that were stuck.
yeah,
You know?
well, you know, God, I don't want to say anything rude, but
Well, no, it's not. I don't think it's to be rude. I'm not saying it to be rude. It's just I think it's the facts.
I don't think it's just staying, you know, in those small towns or whatever, but it's falling into that lifestyle so early, you know, having babies at 16, 17, 18, getting married at 21, 22, and staying married. You know, whenever I see friends like out at bars back in the old town, oh my God, I can't believe you haven't aged, blah, blah, blah. Now I've had a facelift too, but I can afford that because I'm not paying child support. I'm not paying for all these kids. But, you know, God, it's unbelievable how much older everyone is that's my age, how much older they look. And a lot of it has to do, I think, with just quality of life. You know, they spend those awful winters and that flat plain shoveling snow, their backs hurt. You know, God, that slushy black fucking snow. You know, when you step out, you're going out. First of all, you don't want to go anywhere, but then someone's got a birthday, so you got to go out that night, and then you got to park your fucking car, and you're dressed up, and you step out, and you step into a 4-inch puddle of frozen slush. I don't miss that.
No.
At
and
all.
it ruins the bottom of every fucking pair of pants that you have.
Yeah, because there's salt in everything.
Yep.
So
Ruins your shoes.
Everything. I don't miss that.
And you don't have to feel 70 below zero ever again.
Nope. Well, you have it worse up there, I swear.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
it's
do.
windy and it's
I mean, it's
cold.
not as bad as North Dakota because there is nothing there.
No, yeah. I've never been to North Dakota, but if I was, I don't know. I mean, I love road trips. I just never had the reason to go up that far north. I like, you know, the middle region, Colorado, Utah is beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that drive from Denver to Vegas.
Oh, yeah. Especially if you're coming from the Midwest, because it's so fucking flat coming from Nebraska.
Right?
You have to go through, like, you go from one corner all the way to the furthest corner. I think it's like 11 hours once you get through Iowa.
Yep.
And it's brutal. And then you finally can see these little peaks off in the distance. And then it's like, once you get through Denver, it's like climbing up a roller coaster. And then all of a sudden you're at the top of a peak, and then it's just like, it's such a fun ride from there out.
The thing that I noticed, too, when I was leaving Denver, when I was moving out here, and you're driving through the mountains in this beautiful forest, the rest stop bathrooms were spotless. They were gorgeous. And then you get into Utah, and you stop at one of these lookout points, and it's just like, it's an outhouse.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's Utah for you.
Right.
Utah's kind of a creepy place. Like, it's so beautiful, but the people are so weird. So weird. Especially from a trans point of view. I was going through Utah with a girlfriend of mine, Jasmine Jules. Really cool TS woman. Just like, you know, real badass chick, you know, gives no fucks. And we're going through Utah, and it might have even been Salt Lake or some little town out of there. But we hadn't eaten. It was late. We pulled over. We needed to get a hotel. There was a little family restaurant open. Wouldn't you know, it was like the Mormon family restaurant.
Of course it was.
You know? And so there was, you know, because it was late, there wasn't many people in there, but there was a few families in there, and they were, like, so terrified of us. Like, just terrified. And I'm not conservative by any means, but I'm also not one to, like, walk into a place and start sticking my tongue out at people and yelling at people. I mean, I'm very keep to myself. some of the girls I run with are just the opposite. You know, they catch someone looking at them and that's on. You know, they've got to say something. What are you staring at? You know, how about just shut up and just eat your fucking salad?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, it was a trip being in there, and like like those little crocheted home is where the heart is. You know, I mean. Little wooden church carvings, and oh man, and that we just kicked into. I just felt my face go whoa. Yeah, Utah is such a beautiful place, but is it fucking weird?
Do you miss the food in the South?
I'll be honest with you, I'm a really good cook, and growing up with like a Southern family and stuff like that, or half Southern family, my great grandmother could cook so well. I'm so grateful for me watching her cook, because she didn't tell us how she cooked. Of course, she passed away before we could really, ask her anything, but I watched her every move. And nobody knows how to make biscuits and gravy. I swear to God, like gravy is like one of the easiest things to make.
Gravy is glorious.
Yeah, but people in restaurants, like, they give you the most shitty fucking gravy, and it's like, how can you fuck up gravy? And no, I don't really miss the food in the South, because it's for someone who loves to cook and who is a good cook. And I will there's not many things I'll toot my own horn about, but I'm an excellent cook. I don't want to go out for dinner or out for breakfast unless it's going to be something I wouldn't make for myself, or if it's something that they make better than me, then I'll go out. But, you go out for like a big breakfast or even like anything, and they give you this shitty fucking biscuit with the greasiest fucking whatever on it. Mm-hmm. And, there is one place that I miss, and it's not even that it has the greatest food, but it was pretty decent. It was called Aubrey's, and if you're ever in the Knoxville area, Aubrey's has got pretty decent food. They have this thing called rattlesnake pasta, and it's not made with rattlesnakes; it's made with chicken, but it's fucking tasty. It's like a Cajun Alfredo, I guess.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So that always hit the spot. But no, I cooked for my husband almost 5 nights a week. So, and there was one little Mexican place we'd go to, but as you can imagine, Mexican food is pretty awful out there too.
Well, I mean, coming from the Midwest, it's like we're taught that tacos are a hard shell with sloppy joes in them.
Exactly. Exactly. Actually, Chicago has got, there's a sign leaving Mexico. I believe it's like, not El Paso, I can't think of it, but it's right before you come into Brownsville, Texas. And it says, "Move to Aurora, Illinois, live the American dream." And where my dad, if you've ever seen Wayne's World, you know Aurora. That's where my father's tattoo shop is.
Dreamweaver.
Love that movie. And if you're ever in Chicago or Aurora, go get a tattoo by my dad. Skin of a different color. He's in Aurora. He's an awesome guy. Huge Mexican influence there, though. And I'm telling you what. And I always say, in California, you have to go to San Diego for good tacos. But if you want the best al pastor you've ever had, you need to go to Aurora, Illinois. It's the best thing out of Mexico City you're going to find.
I'll have to remember that next time I'm driving through. Before we go to break here, speaking of Southern food, we're getting a Gus's chicken.
I did not know that.
We are getting Gus's world-famous fried chicken.
So that'll be something worth trying.
I would drive to Memphis right now to get Gus's chicken.
I drive to Memphis for barbecue.
Actually, believe it or not, there are a couple decent barbecue joints.
You're going to have to show me where those are at, because I haven't met one I like.
There's one right down the street.
See, maybe that's
There's one in Studio City that's really good. This tiny little hole-in-the-wall. Best ribs I've ever had in my life.
All right. We're going out for barbecue one of these days, so I'm not shooting an anal scene.
There you go. We'll be right back. Morgan Bailey, trans porn star. Can I just call you a she-male porn star?
Sure.
All right. Yay! Be right back right after these quick messages.
Hey ladies, Death Threads will take that rock shirt that everybody has and make it your own in a flattering, sassy, and simple way. There are one-of-a-kind, handmade rocker tube top dresses, lace-up tees, and tank tops all ready in stock. Check out the online store at etsy.com/shop/Death Threads Inc. and like Death Threads on Facebook for special offers and custom orders. That's etsy.com/shop/Death Threads Inc. Death Threads will make you the envy of the party.
If you need to promote your band or business, or just want to stylize, personalize, or customize your ride, check out vid-decals.com. Want to create and customize your own stickers representing your band, or make your own bumper sticker? Vid Decals can do it. All stickers are printed on quality vinyl and can be placed on any flat surface. Stickers are an affordable way to promote your band or business. Go to vid-decals.com to get started. That's vid-decals.com. vid-decals.com.
RockstarLeatherworks.com is your home for badass rock and roll gear. Featuring 100% handmade leather bands, watches, cuffs, bracelets, and more, Rockstar Leatherworks has something for everybody. Whether you are going to the show or you are in it, you can find something to fit your needs. Choose from a variety of designs or create your own masterpiece. Their bands and watches are second to none. They also ship internationally. Who needs a stage to be a rock star? Check out RockstarLeatherworks.com. And we are back. Morgan Bailey.
Hey!
Porn star extraordinaire.
Yes, that's me. I can't believe that I've been in this business for almost 8 years. It'll be 8 years in August.
You know, I did want to ask you, do you envision your life after porn?
After porn? I did when I got married, yeah. I thought I was going to stay married on that farm forever. What am I going to do after porn? Well, I'm going to be in the Caribbean. I'll probably have a little bar. It won't be open, in the evening, so you're going to have to catch me between noon and 5, my bar hours. So if you want a cheeseburger and a beer, that's where to find me. But, yeah, I don't think that I'll be in porn forever. I mean, Porn's got a shelf life of usually 3 to 4 years. Mm-hmm. So if you've made it over that 3 to 4 year mark, boy, you've done something right. And so I'm just going to continue to ride this puppy out as long as I can, just rebrand myself a little bit this year. Doing, instead of the bimbo-y kind of party girl, it's obviously moved into a more dominatrix-y type thing. But I also want people to really just to get to know me too, instead of just playing this whatever character it is. Mm-hmm. We're just my screen name on most of my webcam stuff is Real Morgan Bailey. I also am working on a new website that I can't really give you too much detail about, but it's more about just me doing things that I would do, going out with friends, getting in a little bit of trouble, kind of being a slut, or really being a slut, and more so having fun. I'm a fun person to be around, and that I think is where a lot of my sexual attractiveness comes from. Mm-hmm. I can be very goofy at times. I generally am making people happy just by being myself, and I happen to be sexy doing it. So, I got very lucky. I don't have I'm not the most sexy talker, I can be dirty for sure, but
but dirty is sexy.
Dirty is sexy.
Dirty is sexy.
But I'm goofy. I'm a really goofy person, I'm always making jokes, so I want everyone laughing all the time, so thank God I've got, some killer looks, because if it was just my personality, I don't think I'd be bringing too many guys home.
Yeah, it's funny, the shelf life in porn now. It's like, you think of shit, in the 80s and the early 90s. It's like that shelf life seemed to be a lot longer.
Well, yeah, but how many girls were there actually doing it?
That's right. And see, I want to make a comparison to the music industry now too. It's like anybody with a fucking computer can make a record.
Yep.
Doesn't mean it's going to be good, and it's got to be the same thing with your industry too, because anybody with a fucking video camera can make a porn, but it doesn't mean it's going to be good.
I am really happy to see more amateur stuff, especially on webcam. I love to see people being more sexually expressive, because we've been so sexually repressed for so long, especially as Americans. And, if you can't show your face, that's fine, but everyone should try and get on cam once just to see what it's like to be in that kind of exhibitionist. You might find out that it's something everyone needs to, you need to stick something up your ass at least once or twice. If it didn't feel good the first time, try it again. Get a blowjob from a tranny, or do something different. You only live once. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it again, but I just feel like people...
Yeah. A mouth is a mouth, Bubba.
That's it. Do things that are different, because you do only live once, and God, time goes by so fast. You don't want to end up, regretting that you didn't do something one day. But be more sexually explorative with yourself, and go be a voyeur at first, and then be an exhibitionist. Wear a mask. Be kinky. Do weird things. Do things that you wouldn't, go push yourself a little bit. I think being vulnerable is the sexiest thing that you can do. Is be vulnerable.
Well, I think the one thing that is cool about amateur porn is like it's almost like you're not supposed to see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like when you see a tit that you're not supposed to see, it makes it even hotter than when a girl just goes, "Hey, how you doing?"
Right.
Not that that's not hot.
Right.
But,
Oh, sure. Like, when you're like sitting there at like a bar and you're at the beach or you're like on some balcony and there's like that girl with that little skimpy shirt on, she keeps moving and you're just waiting for that little nipple peek. That's so fun,
Yes.
That is so fun. I love that kind of stuff. I like to find like sexuality in my daily life.
Everybody should.
Well, I hope so. I mean, people are thinking about sex. You should act on it a little bit more. Be more of yes people and stop saying no so much.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So what do you got coming up? You have...
I'm filming
you're
today.
Filming today, yes.
Yeah, I'm filming at 1 o'clock with Mona Wales. She is beautiful, first of all, but she's so kinky.
All right, I gotta... I have
you
to...
do. You should get her on the show because she's beautiful and she's kinky, but I have to say her mind is brilliant, and she will wow you when she talks. I mean, she's the most you'll fall.
Good looking gal.
Oh, you're gonna fall in love with her. She's brilliant. Her mind is just brilliant. She's a beautiful minded person, kinky as fuck and dirty. So we're filming this cop movie today with Domino Presley.
Who's also hot. I've seen her pictures.
Yeah,
yes.
she is very hot. Domino Presley and I are these good cop, bad cop in this movie, and I'm not even sure what the scene is really with Mona today. I think that I'm interrogating her, and I'm going to get some information from her, and I'm going to have to dig it out of her somehow. So that's what we're doing today, and then we're also filming a chase scene tonight, and a bunch of filler for the film. And then Wednesday or Thursday. Oh, and this is for Groovy Productions. Buddy Wood's directing this film. We don't have a name for it yet, but be on the lookout for that. And we've got a couple other projects that we're doing. We're doing a kind of a knockoff of a soap opera. I can't release the name of that, but it has something to do with knockoff kind of the Young and Restless idea.
Okay.
And then we've got everyone's favorite movie, Morgan Bailey's Bad Day. It's got a sequel coming out, which, by the way, is the #1 torrented, stolen, pirated VOD trans movie of all time.
Really?
Yep.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Thank you very much. So to touch on that a little bit, the downfall of the porn industry definitely has, and music too, has to do with people stealing porn, which, whatever, we're all guilty of it at this point. So I charge for interaction now. If you want me to talk to you online, you got to give me a little bit of money. You want me to respond to your stuff online, you got to give me a little bit of money, because that's the only thing left to charge for anymore is actual human interaction.
Right.
So, come see me on Chatterbait. Love your tips. Love to do privates, but you got to pay me for it, This is how I'm supposed to make my living, and I've taken a dramatic pay cut now where I'm working, 3 or 4 different jobs outside of porn. So, and I'm still at the top of the game. It's difficult.
Well, I suppose. I mean, Christ, it's like, I'm doing stand-up, which I don't do a lot, but, I just started doing it, and, this, and, I host this thing every Wednesday night in Hollywood, but to make money, I drive Lyft.
Yeah.
I got to pay rent.
I've thought about driving Lyft, And also, I always wanted to be a cab driver when I was younger, so it kind of would fulfill that. And plus, I think it would be like very taxi cab confessions if I was doing it.
It is. Dude, it is.
I would totally put a camera in there. I totally would. I would totally start my own little taxi cab confessions there.
I thought about that, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, that would be an awesome idea," but you're dealing with drunk people, and to give, you get somebody that's hammered. Yeah, I have video. I don't care.
You gotta have release forms.
Exactly.
You gotta get them while they're intoxicated.
Yeah, I know.
You smoke cigarettes in here.
I do.
I love.
Well,
that.
I usually don't, but you were smoking weed. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll smoke a cigarette.
Well, yeah, we gotta.
I'll join you.
We gotta keep the show going here.
Exactly.
So we were talking about before I got on my little tangent about the downfall of money. What were we talking about?
The illegal downloading and.
Yeah, but before that, you'd asked me something that brought me into that. I don't remember now.
I don't know. That was like 3 minutes ago.
Because I'm a stoner.
I'm just a fucking airhead.
Mona Wales, we're talking about the
yeah,
films.
Mona
Okay.
Wales, Mona Wales.
So, and she's also directing for Groovy now. So she's just got this beautiful mind. You guys are going to love her stuff. She's real kinky. If you don't know who she is, check her out. But I'm also shooting for another Groovy site on Wednesday or Thursday. It's going to be a hardcore. I have no idea who the guy is I'm shooting with, but I'll be the one taking the dick that day. And then, excitingly enough, I'm going to be in Baltimore stripping on Friday, leaving Saturday morning to go up to New York, dancing there on Sunday night at Gentleman's Headquarters, and then I'll be hanging out there for a couple days before I take off to the Caribbean for a week for my birthday, my home away from home, and then I'll be back just in time to pack my fucking apartment and look for a new home. I got 10 days when I get back to find a new place to live, so the heat is on.
Which is always fun in LA.
Yeah, it's the kind of the way to do it, though. If you start looking too far in advance, you know, you don't want to put money down. Someone comes and takes it, then you're pissed that you lost your spot.
Right.
So, you know, I'll give myself that 10 days. I'll find something. I'm not going to stress about it. But I got to find something that I'm not going to want to move out of in a year.
Right.
That's the key this time.
That is the key. I mean, I envision myself, it's like, after this movie shit that I have coming up in the near future, once I get that motherfucking movie check, you know, then I'll move to Hollywood. Then in a few years, I'll just keep getting closer and closer and closer to the water.
To the water. You want to move to the water. I guess that's everyone's dream when they come here. You want that house right there by the water. Yeah.
Yes, I do. Eventually. But I would love a house in the hills, though.
Hey, you know, I'm a really good cook. I'm a really good roommate. I'm kind of fun to have around. So if you ever get that house, you should let me know. Because, you know.
Oh, yeah. Friends got to take care of friends.
Friends got to take care of friends. My dream is to be down in the Caribbean, and I'm going to make that happen this summer. So I'm doing my TV job. I do casting for television shows. And I'm signing on for an 11-week project.
I'm available for those.
I'm definitely going to be keeping you in mind for that. You'll love this. And so yeah, we're just I gotta get myself down there though. It gets a little too crazy for me up here. I don't really do the drugging so much anymore, and LA is kind of a bad place. You know, it's hard to go out when everyone's kind of doing blow or doing whatever they do, you know, and everyone's, you know, I'm finding out is like a secret meth head, which totally freaks me out. I hate that drug. Like, I think it's just so gross. So I need to get away from. I mean, there's not to say that there's actually really great cocaine in the Caribbean, but you know, I'm at the point in my life
closer to the source.
Yes, I'm just not doing so much of that these days, so it's a safe place for me to be. I don't drink nearly as hard as I used to. You couldn't tell from the first time you met me because I was fucking trash.
Yes, you were.
But
I remember we were outside smoking, and that furry vest you had on was just wide open. It's like, oh yeah, boobs.
Yeah,
awesome. They were glorious, by the way.
Thank you.
Nice work.
Thank you. That's Dr. Zukowski in Chicago. He's an amazing doctor. Really amazing. Very aggressive. Doesn't have very good bedside manners, but he makes up for it.
He's the Todd.
I don't know who's Todd.
You ever watch Scrubs?
No.
You should watch Scrubs.
I know. You know, don't ask me anything about television shows except Walking Dead, and I haven't even seen the last season.
Never watch it.
Okay, so I don't know anything about television, and I'm finding myself not being able to participate in conversations as of, like, recently. So I started, like, catching up on shit that people watch. I got stuck. I thought the first couple episodes of Walking Dead was like, okay, so there's, like, zombies. They're just going to chase everyone around, but it becomes less about the zombies, more about the people. Dun, 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 dun. The storyline gets pretty good. I'm fucking hooked. Started watching Weeds a while ago. Love that, but just after like the 5th season, I was kind of over it. I don't watch that. Who is the doctor? The guy who kills everybody. I don't know. The serial killer, but he's a nice guy.
Not sure.
I don't know.
Sure. I
can't participate in these conversations.
I just started watching Vinyl.
I haven't even watched Vinyl. I watched the first episode. It was fucking amazing.
I was pissed they killed off Dice so early.
No, you told me. I haven't seen the
that was in the first episode.
I didn't see the end of the first episode though.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
I started watching it with my buddy and buddy Wood. And yeah, that was always hard because I always called everybody buddy back in the day.
Hey buddy.
Hey buddy. But yeah, very Pauly Shore of me. But I don't anymore because there's only one buddy now. I need to catch up on some television, I guess. But I'm webcamming so much that I don't really find time to watch. And then when I do watch something, it's usually like something on television. I mean, some sort of movie. I never make it past like the first 15 minutes of it. I've got a director friend, good friend of mine, who just came out with this movie and came over to make sure that I downloaded it off of iTunes. And I tried watching it like 3 or 4 times now, and I make it almost to the same point in the movie. And it's not that it's a great movie. And I'm really interested because it's my friend, but I just can't do it. I go out. So I expel all my energy masturbating for the masses.
There you go.
I have 14,000 followers on Chatterbait. I usually get about 3,000 or 4,000 people at a time watching my show.
It's insane.
Yeah. About 5% of them tip.
Right.
But that's where I make my money. So come on Chatterbait and tip me. Keep me in business, guys.
Is it weird having that many people watching you live?
I love it. I get off on it.
I
actually get off on the tips, too.
Of course.
Ting, it makes me so excited.
What was it like the first time you watched yourself?
I don't like hearing myself speak, but man, I love watching myself fuck. I'm real sweaty, and I'm very passionate, and I know a lot of girls can't even watch their porn because they're like, oh, I can't believe I look that weird, and I'm like, that's what you're supposed to look like when you're having sex. You're supposed to go cross-eyed, and your toes are curling, and your tongue sticking out of your mouth. So, yeah, I love watching myself fuck, especially, like, if it was, like, a really good scene and the sex was good. So I'll go back and, like, masturbate to it for sure.
I was just going to ask, have you ever jerked off to yourself? That's,
Yeah, I'm a little narcissistic, possibly. Yeah, I think I'm hot. If there was like a doppelganger or like, I wouldn't say a twin because I couldn't say I'd fuck my own. I wouldn't say I'd fuck my sister. I wouldn't put it past me though to try.
If you could clone yourself, you'd fuck yourself.
You better believe I'd fuck myself. Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
Fuck it. Get some Jack Daniels in me. Let's do this.
That was my bad Silence of the Lambs quote.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. That's
Yes.
right.
It's not a very trannies don't really.
Would you fuck me?
I'd fuck me.
I'd fuck me hard.
I would fuck me so hard though. I would. I'd pull my fucking hair and slap me around. I'd love to deep throat myself. Like, I really love my cock, and I love sucking dick, so I would think it would be so fun to 69 myself. Like, the perfect height, everything was exactly... It would just be so cool, I think, to 69 yourself. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. That's one of my fantasies. Unachievable, but well,
you never know. You might run into somebody who looks exactly like you.
Yeah, but it's not the same thing though. No. I'd want to see the same tattoos, the same nail color, the same look in the eye, say the same thing at the same time. That'd be so cool.
Same cock.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be so fucking cool. So anyone who does like CGI that can make that possibly happen on camera, that would probably be as close as I could ever come to having that fantasy fulfilled. So if you can ever find someone for me, make sure you let me know.
I know some people who might know some people.
Because that would be fucking awesome, dude. Oh my god, that is like my biggest fantasy. For sure.
That could be a huge fucking selling porno. Right there.
Huge.
Watch Morgan, fuck Morgan.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
And then Morgan, fuck Morgan.
That would be so cool. You got my mind working now. And that would be like that'd be the highlight of my porn career, I think. I definitely win an AVN for that, I think.
Yes. Yeah. You just had the T Awards too.
Mm-hmm. Which is so cool because I was there. I've been there since the beginning. So I watched it go from like our venue was the size of your living room and your porch maybe combined, Mm-hmm. So it's like it was in a little bar with just like a little corner stage that you could literally fit 2 people on. It was like for like a solo act, and it went from that to being at this. You didn't come to the awards, huh?
No.
We'll make sure you're invited next year. And it's at the Avalon. It's fucking huge. It's this huge production. It went from this to this. It was at Joseph's one year. The little Greek place up on Vine. I don't even think they're open anymore. The Glen Valley or something. Something of the Stars. I don't remember exactly what the name of that was. Some theater. I don't remember where. Somewhere in Pasadena, maybe. But it just keeps growing and growing, and I think they've signed on with this guy for a few years, so it should be there, and it's going to get bigger, obviously, after that. But it's so cool to be a part of that, and this year, I was almost thinking that I wasn't going to be able to. I was trying to move to the Caribbean earlier. And I was like, look, I don't think I can do the red carpet. And they were like, no, we can't do this without you. I mean, that made me feel so good. And I'm just so honored that they keep bringing me back. So I can't wait for next year. It's a whole year away, but I'm looking forward to it. And I just love to see how it grows. And it just goes to show you how much the niche has grown, too, because our industry, or especially our niche within this industry, is booming. And there are girls coming out of the woodworks. And I just think it's great that so many people are transitioning, you know, especially at an earlier age instead of being repressed for so long. Mm-hmm. So, you know, and I realize that a lot of trans activists don't think that trans porn stars are the best role models for trans youth. And, you know, Well, that's been a stigma with any genre of porn. Sure. Forever. Sure. You know? But I think with trans, it's a little different because there aren't a lot of role models for trans people to look up to that are in the community. And especially when it comes to girls, you know, a lot of it is based on looks. There's some beautiful girls in the porn industry. Mm-hmm. So Aubrey Kate. Yeah, she's just beautiful. And young. You know, that's great. That's what I'm talking about. Girls transitioning young, you know. I lost my train of thought. I'm so stoned. We're talking about porno and this and that. The trans community. It's growing. Yeah, but what their thoughts on porn and role models. So, well, here's the thing. All I'm saying is, if you know, I want to be as much of a role model as I can be, you know, to some girls. Girls always say, how do I get into porn? Why do you want to be in porn? You know, I used to, you know, come with some of those questions. I'm really basic now. I said, you know, do the same thing I did. Send your pictures in and good luck to you. So I promote everybody getting into porn. Everybody. Everyone should try it. But don't let it be the be-all, end-all of you know, you thinking that you made it as a transsexual or something. I mean, there's so much more. And hopefully, you know, the world's changing now and trans is being more accepted that there'll be more non-porn jobs available for trans women and trans men for that matter, trans people. So, let's, you know, not just single out trans men, where, you know, they're very much part of the trans community too. Mm-hmm. So, I'd like to see more equal rights for trans people and more jobs for trans people. And there's so many brilliant trans people too. And I'd like to see them focusing less on transitioning because they can really eat up so much of your life. And focus more and let that just be, you know, a part of you, because being trans is not what makes up, is not your whole as a person. It's just a small part of who you are. And unfortunately, so many people have become consumed by their transition that they have very little time for living. Before we end up, you're working on a documentary. Yes, I'm working on a documentary. I'm working on a documentary about trans people, and it's about their journey. And it's such a big time right now for trans people. So it seemed like the right time to do this. I could do this years down the line when I've gathered even more experience than I've had and met even more people than I have. But God, I'm going to be 33 next week, or on the 18th of April. And I transitioned when I was 15. I've got quite enough experience, I think, and I know some amazing people that I just need to capture their stories. I have a girlfriend, Yasmin Lee. She's an actress. She does porn and she does film. And how her family left, I don't want to say the country wrong. It's amazing. She was born in the jungle. Oh, wow. Like, her mother was, like, pregnant. Like, they were, like, leaving this awful place, and they were fleeing, and her mom gave birth to her in the jungle. I mean, fucking wow. And she's like, and it's an amazing story, and she's like this, and she's a very beautiful woman, and she's you know, she does all this stuff to help her family and stuff, and her story, that whole story needs to get captured, you know. And and other really wild, interesting stories too. They're not just about like, you know, about hardships, but also about, you know, I don't want to just focus on the hardships of transsexuals. I want to focus on some of the beautiful things that are happening in our lives too, because I feel like so many stories of trans are so sad, you know, and that's not the case. You know, I'm leading a very happy life.
That's the most important thing. You got to be happy.
You do. Unfortunately, you know, let's touch on something that is really important to me. There is a lot of suicide in the trans community, and it's because of lack of acceptance, or the feeling of lack of acceptance, or the feeling of no self-worth, or the feeling of disappointing your loved ones and your friends. Everybody needs to realize that we're all human beings. We all need to be allies to each other. And it's so important that that we accept everybody and just let everybody be themselves. Because, you know, who are we to take that away from anybody, you know? But just because you don't know about something, doesn't mean you should be afraid of it. Become educated, educate yourself, and become friends with a trans person, because they are amazing people, and they need to feel the acceptance from the cisgendered world, you know? I think the sooner that being trans isn't such a big deal and it's accepted a little bit more, you know, in the daily life, the less suicides we're going to have. There's no reason people should be taking their lives no matter who you are.
Right.
You know, so please don't ever feel like that's the route you have to take. And if you feel that way, seek help, call a hotline, you know, talk to a friend. Don't let that be your only option, because it's not. And if, you know, it doesn't matter who you are, but be a trans ally too, you know, find out how you can be a trans ally, seek a trans friend. Be trans friendly.
Be friendly to everybody.
Well, absolutely.
But absolutely agree. You know, I just kind of have this motto. It's like, just don't be a douche and have a good time.
Don't be a douche. You know, it's easy for us California people to say that, you know, but for anyone who's listening who might be from like a small town or whatever, and, you know, you've experienced closed-mindedness, I think a lot of the reason people aren't allies is not that they don't want to be, but they're afraid of how their peers are going to react to them sticking up for somebody. That's what being an ally is about. It's about not giving a shit. And if you're afraid of what people are going to say, oh, so you're hanging out with that faggot, or oh, you like that tranny over there. No, that person's a human being, and you should learn to respect yourself a little bit more, so you're not so self-loathing that you have to hate somebody because you don't understand who they are. And that's really what it comes from, I believe. And, you know, it's fear. I think people are really intimidated by trans because we're leading our true selves every single day of our lives. Mm-hmm. Not many people can say that. Everyone, and we all have secrets too, but we're leading a more genuine, authentic life than most people have the opportunity to live. And I know that eats a lot of people up, especially the really strong male types and the really strong female types that feel like they're in such a power position, but really they're hiding behind something. You know, they're hiding behind their power, and they're very threatened by people who are. I don't want to say flamboyant because that's not the right word, but people that are very expressive of who they are and authentic.
Morgan, this has been a blast. You are welcome back at any time. I like doing these random drunken summits where I'll get 2 or 3 people in studio and we'll just get hammered. And
I love that idea.
You are more than welcome to join us. Another thing, too, one thing I do on the show, I have a bottle of Jack Daniels up there. It's empty, unfortunately. But what I do is I have all my in-studio guests sign it. And when it's full of signatures, I auction it off, and I've started working with the SoCal Bulldog Rescue. So we sponsor a dog, and all the money goes to that.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. I love bulldogs. Yeah, I do.
And you want to give your social media stuff and your website and all that stuff before we leave?
Okay, so my website is www.morgan-bailey.com. It's not been updated in a while, but there's plenty of good porn to check out, guys. You can see me on Chatterbait. I'm Real Morgan Bailey. Come out there, have a good time. It's a really fun, sexy show, very interactive. On Twitter, @1MorganBailey. Instagram, Morgan Bailey Baby. And I don't usually give my Snapchat out for free, but it is Morgan XXX Bailey. And you can send me Snapcash for dirty photos. If you want to see a golden shower or someone that you can't really get online, that would be the place to get it from.
Oh, I love it. Morgan, this has been a blast. Thank you so much for coming in. Like
Thank you, Izzy.
You're welcome at any time.
Love to come back.
Morgan Bailey, porn star extraordinaire.
Woo.
Yay. And there you go, Morgan Bailey. Fun interview. Honored to bring that to you. Honored to have her in studio. She did sign the Jack Daniels bottle, so now it's Courtney Cox and Morgan Bailey on there. Next week, not confirmed yet, but maybe a video vixen in studio. Like I said, working on Steve the Colonel Cropper. Waiting on confirmation on Duff Goldman from Ace of Cakes, TV food star. And I'm belching now because I've been drinking Monster Energy. And lots of great stuff coming up in the very near future. So make sure you check out the social media, facebook.com/anotherfnpodcast. Hit up that Twitter machine, Izzy_Presley, on my quest for 1 million followers. And I don't know if it has gone up since the last time I said it, but right now at 1,636 as I'm recording this, which is exactly what it was last time I said it. But by the time people listen to it, it may go up. So go ahead and do that. Follow on Twitter. If you're listening on Spreaker, hit that follow button. If you're listening on iTunes, hit that subscribe button, leave feedback, all that kind of good shit. I don't have anything else. This has been an Izzy Presley production. I will see you next week with possibly a video vixen in studio. Waiting on confirmation on that. And next Monday, I will be back with another live show, 6 p.m. Los Angeles time. You can listen live via Spreaker, and I might broadcast it on YouTube so I can check your comments and all that kind of good shit. You'll be able to call into the show and be live with me. Talk about whatever you may want to talk about. Lots of great stuff always happening. Lots of stories always to talk about, so fuck it, why not? Let's go live and let's get you guys involved. So, I will see you next week. It has been a pleasure. And folks, it is true. I do, in fact, love you all.